All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media, fastest 15 minutes anywhere. And my name is Judson Powell. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, notification button, hit all the buttons for me, and I would appreciate that. So, I guess everybody knows that Roe v. Wade was overturned, right? And so, that leads the way for the conservatives. They've been trying to do this for years and years and years. And the funny thing about it is the Supreme Court has never really been used like to take away people's rights. It's always been used to enforce people's rights. And, besides Plessy versus Ferguson, this is probably the biggest taking away of rights that has ever been done in the history of the Supreme Court or the Constitution. And I was I always tell y'all, I was one of those guys in law school that carried around a copy of the Constitution all the time because the root of all the laws is the Constitution. And it's a shame that now we have to go to different measures. And there are some things that can be done, and that's what I want to talk about. First of all, there's no rule that says that there has to be 9 justices on the Supreme Court. That can be changed. So while people are thinking like, no, there's no way out of this, yes, there is. You can stack the court, put 2 or 3 more justices on the court, and then boom, you can reverse the decision overnight. It's not really that difficult to do. The other things, and here's the thing: the Democrats, they just not fighters. The Democrats that we got up there right now, they're not fighters. They're not going to fight for your rights, and not as much as these conservative Republicans and the white nationalists. And the whole thing stems from the fact that they're afraid that they're going to lose population. But the other thing is, y'all got Putin, face it, the Ukrainians and all the people that are dying in that war are Caucasians. And for what? And all these people keep on telling us that there's population is out of control and all this kind of stuff. That's not really true. And there's no proof of it. It's just people saying stuff and then hoping that it's gonna be picked up by the masses, and then the masses are gonna be afraid, and because the masses are afraid, they're gonna do stuff that's out of character, because they're operating on pure emotion. They're not operating on factual stuff. And so right now, the killer of the white race is just the white race. Unfortunately, and I say unfortunately. The other thing that I want to talk about, of course, is okay, so of all these things, what needs to be in a black agenda? And there needs to be some type of term limits. Is another thing. Term limits on some of these guys get in office and they've been in office for 50, 60 years. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We need younger people to get in there and to shake things up and to make the proper moves for the population that's going to be coming up. And here's the thing, and I just just talked to some people about this, but here's the thing: we can't complain about the younger generation. We've got to allow them to be themselves and allow them to create and be, whatever they're going to be. And I think that a lot of times we try to, we try to stop this stuff, but we need to let them be. And the other thing is, the only thing that we need to lead them in is, look, you guys need to vote. And that's why they're trying to take away your vote. They're trying to take away your vote. They got all these, and I'm telling you, they're doing it. They're doing it in secret, in private, and all this kind of stuff. And then one day you wake up and it's like Roe v. Wade. It's like, oh, we took this stuff away. Or how about Clarence Thomas? If Loving versus Virginia is overturned, how about you can't even marry your wife? See, that's what people don't think about this stuff. They don't even realize like how many rights the court has given us over time and over the years. And I believe that even it's funny that the Supreme Court could strike down this ruling, and the only thing it's going to do is going to make people turn to desperate measures again. And some companies, thank goodness, have said that if there are women that want abortions, that they would pay for them. So you got companies that are paying to enforce these women's rights, and that's really what it is. It's got, y'all all enforcing, but the baby's rights. But I've always been pro-choice. That's your purview. It's your body, not my body. So how do we have men in a congressional area, in a lawmaking area? Why are they there? That's the problem. It's like, why are they there? And that's why we need term limits. Nobody should be in office. In my estimation, there should be no more lifetime appointments, and 10 years should be the appointment. It's like no more than 10 years on the Supreme Court. No more than 10 years in the Senate, and no more than 6 or 8 years in the House of Representatives. And then that way we get some turnover from these people that keep on shoving these laws down people's throat. And here's the thing about America, I may not agree with abortion, but you have the right to have one. That's your right, in my opinion. In my opinion, yeah. Do I believe in all of this? No, not necessarily. But that's your right. The same thing with the First Amendment. When everybody's talking about the First Amendment or whatever, and it's like, you have the right to freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want. I may not agree with what you say, but I wholeheartedly agree with you have the right to say it. Whatever it is, whether it's white supremacy, whether it's white nationalism, whether it's white hatred towards other races of people, you have the right to say what you're going to say. That's your right. I'm not saying that I back you or but I back your right to speak. The same thing with the Second Amendment. Nobody wants to take nobody's guns or anything. That's the thing they're working on now. Nobody wants to take anybody's guns away. All we're asking is that you take away assault rifles. And this has been on the table for 40 years. Like, you don't need an assault rifle in order to protect your house, or in order to protect your land or whatever. We have police, we have militia, we have National Guard, all of that. So there's no need. If you're in that much danger, then you need to let the big guns handle it, not your little guns. And then the other thing there needs to be an investigation conducted to see what is the tie or what is the bond between these mass murders. and these mass murderers, they all seem to be young Anglo-Saxon American, young white. Not, they're all young white guys, or young guys that back the white supremacy agenda. And so what is the catalyst, or what triggers them to do something at the particular time that they did? And I know I've mentioned the Manchurian Candidate thing. I've mentioned that a couple of times because it seems to me, and this is my opinion, in my humble opinion, it seems like all of this stuff is connected, and they want to grab the news cycle at certain times, and then at certain times they just disappear into the woodwork. But how is it that, and in every single instance, somebody's always trying to say that there was somebody that knew that the attack was about to take place. Somebody that knew that this attack was about to take place. And there's always some official or some person that the person worked with, went to school with, was around all the time. And many times what we've also discovered is that these people had black friends. And I don't want to sound like a stereotype, but these people, a lot of them had black friends, black girlfriends, mixed children. All these things that have been going on. So what do we say? How is this? How is all of this stuff connected? Right? And it's all about the population. It's all about the population of the white race. So they're afraid that they're going to die out and there won't be any more white people, which I doubt it. I doubt that's true. There's always going to be people, and this is another thing, there's always going to be people that are going to fall in love. That's why like the Umar Johnsons and the people like that are shouting, and I got relatives that are white. What do I do with them? And these are questions, I asked this question like years ago. It's like, well, what do you do? You got white relatives, you married into white families, you have this, that, and the other thing. What do you do? I mentioned Loving versus Virginia earlier for interracial marriage. The court gave people of interracial Clarence Thomas the right to marry. Or like I said, you couldn't even marry your own wife if the Supreme Court would not have given you those rights. And a guy like Umar Johnson, Dr. Johnson doesn't care for your marriage. And he says that black people ought to marry black people. And that it's a slap in the face to the movement. Now, I don't get me wrong, I agree with Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is fine. A lot of our leaders in Africa that have been assassinated and murdered over the years have been murdered because they had a Pan-African agenda. They wanted to, make a bank for the Africans and take all the money and put all the African money in African banks. But obviously the powers that be did not want that to happen. So the only thing that could be done now by the Democrats, segue into this, you're going to have to put more members on the court, pack the court, and if they want to use that to make laws and to interpret laws negatively towards the masses, then something has to be done. And there are things that can be done. We don't have to sit back and take this. There's no reason to take it. Fastest 15 minutes is up. My name is Judson Powell. Hit like or subscribe. Love you.